Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Apologies for the 2-year absence. I'm going to get back in. We're going to hopefully be doing a weekly video to help out with common injuries, surf-specific exercises, and all the fun things above. So today we're going to actually be looking at neck pain. I myself have had a bad neck for the last month, a disc bulge C6, C7 to be precise, and this has kept me out of the water for a while. So these are a few exercises that have really helped me to get back in the water and to also be able to maintain my time in the water these last few months. Okay guys, so this first one is a shoulder car exercise. So what we're focusing on here, especially people who are driving a lot of the time on computers, a lot of the time your shoulders are up, forwards, and this locks the neck up in doing this. So what we want to get better at is dropping these shoulders back and down to try and get the lower traps and the good postural muscles to hold the shoulders in the right spot so we don't jam up the base of the neck. So what we're doing here, I'm going to do it facing you and then I'll flip the other way so you can see. We're going to puff the chest, arms externally rotated as much as possible, shoulders down. This is the starting position from here. Slowly coming forward with the scap, slowly coming up, back from there, and then slowly down. So as you can see, the focus is purely on the shoulder blades. We're trying to spread them as much as possible while they're down here. We're trying to lift them as high as you can go, and down. A big learning cue here is, see with my elbows, we don't want to bend the elbows at all. So arms stay straight, externally rotated. This should be the hardest one to possibly do, and this is the best to strengthen those lower traps and the good postural muscles. And then while we're in this position, the other thing I want you to focus on is to tuck that pelvis. So lock the ribs down, tuck the pelvis, lock the shoulder blades down, and hold that position there. So slowly coming forward with this one. We're going to get through 2 lots of 7 to start off with, but as you can see, it's quite slow and it should be quite challenging after doing a few of these reps, especially the down phase. So we're hitting 5 now. You can see it's really slow, really controlled, and 6. And 7. Breath. I always like to breathe out through the down phase here. 9. And so this one here, we normally do 2 rounds. Give yourself a little rest in between, then go into round 2. Round 2, you often find that it gets a little easier as you've had that postural stimulation. So number 2, we're going to focus on is chin tucks. So with these ones, a lot of people who work on the desk, drive, look at screens all day long, mobile devices, the neck's always coming forward into that posture. So in doing this, we tighten the back of the neck and this becomes weak in the front of the neck. So we want to reverse this, and to do this, first of all, we want to focus on that shoulder posture again. So it's going to be rolling the arms out, squeezing the shoulder blades back together and dropping the shoulders, and then with the head, keeping eye level in front of us, what we want to do is pull that chin in. So you're almost giving yourself a double chin, and by doing this, we're going to feel the muscles deep in the front of the neck here switch on. And you might, if you're really tight in the back of the neck, you might even feel a stretch right underneath the skull there. And you're holding this for 10 seconds. And then a slow release. Little 3 or 5 second rest, and then we're slowly going back in. So you notice here that I'm not looking up and squeezing back, or I'm not looking down. It's dead, eyes dead set in front, and the chin just comes straight back. If you're not feeling it in the deep muscles in the front of your neck, you're doing it the wrong way. So we're going to try and get through 6 reps here, 10-second holds, and slowly coming out for a little rest, 3 to 5 seconds, 2, 1, slowly going back in, squeeze back. 2, 1, slowly coming out, little rest. This is a great one to do during the day as well. If you're at the desk, have a little break every 45 minutes to an hour and do these ones to make sure those good postural muscles are activated. 2, 1, slowly coming out. It does look funny though, so if you've got other people in the room, they're probably going to laugh at you. Back into it. 10 seconds. 2, 1, slowly coming out. That's good. Stanley rotate, come back in. 2, 1, good, coming out from there. After doing these ones, you should definitely feel that the front of the neck has been switched on. If it is really weak, it can almost feel like it's going to cramp. So if it does, don't worry. Don't obviously push through the exercises if you are feeling this, but don't worry, that's a normal part of it. Okay, so for this next one, we're actually going to go back into extension quite a lot with the neck. So the main thing is, if you have had a disc injury, you've got to be really careful that number one, you don't feel pain in the neck, and number two, you don't get those ridiculous symptoms. So the neurological symptoms going down the arm. If any of that happens, we're stopping straight away. But this is a really good one to strengthen the opposing groups to generally, with the poorer postures, what we've been tightening up. So to start off with this one, I normally get people doing it off the edge of just their bed. And what you want to do, you want to line the shoulders up right with the edge. We're going the same thing as we're doing before. Squeeze the shoulder blades down, palms facing the sky. And then from here, we're slowly dropping the head back. So over 5 seconds. And then as you lift, we're not just lifting straight up like that. We're actually going to try and rotate and go straight into a chin tuck motion. So you're giving yourself that double chin again. Hold that, and then slowly down again over that 5 to 7 seconds. Slowly drop. Really slowly coming up into a chin tuck motion. We're trying to get 8 reps down here. So that was 2. Slowly dropping. Slowly coming up. Make sure we roll straight into a chin tuck. It's actually pretty hard to talk while doing this one. Keep it slow, keep it controlled. Try and get as much extension. Slowly coming up, roll into a chin tuck motion. That is for 4. Halfway. If you need a little rest and you feel like you're going to start to cramp through the front of the neck, have a little rest. That's 5. 6. 2 more. 7. And last one. I can feel the front of the neck for sure here. Roll it, chin tuck, and hold there. 8. So the best way to come out of this one, I always like cradle behind the neck, and then from here you can either roll out or sit up from there. Yeah. Now, the next one we're going to do here is I use a yoga strap. You can get creative at home as long as there is a little bit of cushioning behind the neck, because it can irritate the skin. Now with this one, I want you to be very careful, because if you place it in the wrong area or if there is any pain, we can do a little bit more damage. So you want to make sure that, number one, once again, it doesn't cause any pain. Number two, there's no ridiculous symptoms down the arm when you do it. Number 3, we're going very slow to make sure none of these come on. So slow and controlled is always the manner we go with these sorts of rehab exercises. So with this one here, we're almost holding a bit of a sit-up motion with the neck, a little bit of flexion to start off with. Now, before we start to drop the neck, so same as the previous exercise, we're going to apply a little bit of resistance into the strap here, and then let the neck sink back. Now, what we're trying to do here is actually create more of a what we call a lordotic curve through the neck, which is what we want. That's good posture. But with all the driving, the screen work, the texting, our necks actually lose that curve, which generally puts pressure on the lower discs. So those sort of C5, C6, C7 discs, and this one just helps restore a little bit of the lordotic curve. So slowly dropping down. As you drop down, you squeeze up with the hands, and then as you lift, it's the opposite. You take the pressure off, you roll your chin in. So drop, squeeze up with the hands, lift the head, take the resistance off. Okay, so we're going to get another 4 of these out. And you should really use your focus on the exhale on the way down and let everything relax. Like I said before, if there's any pain, any neurological signs or symptoms, you stop straight away. I've got 2 to go. And good. All right, so for this next one, you've probably heard of this one before, cat camels. I want to change it up a little bit and probably introduce a few steps to this that you may not have heard of before. And this is all to get the spinal segments moving individually. If you do this movement as a whole, you're not getting any benefit whatsoever. Or little benefits, but not what we want to improve neck and thoracic function. So what we want to do here, plant all 4s, make sure the wrists are straight under the shoulders. Now, as the number 1 movement with this is the tailbone tuck. So you introduce flexion through the spine through the tailbone, but as we're doing that, we're simultaneously putting pressure into the hands. So this will help you individualize the segments going up. So I'm going to do this for you right now. So we're going to put pressure into our hands, tuck the tailbone, and then individually try and focus on getting 1 segment at a time, all the way up until we hit the neck, and then the chin comes to the chest. Now, to reverse this, instead of pushing away with the arms, I'm going to start to squeeze in, and we focus on the tailbone again. We extend. So we extend through the tailbone, the lumbars, through the thoracic here, all the way up until we get to the neck. So once again, once we get to the end point here, push into the hands, tailbone tucks, all the way up through the thoracics, going up into the neck, really slow motion. And then same thing, squeeze the hands in towards the knees, into the ground, drop the lumbars, drop the thoracic, going into extension with the cervicals as well. Okay. We're trying to get to 8 with these, but really slow. Out breath as we release. Drop the tailbone, drop the lumbars, drop the thoracic, hooking up. So we should feel on each rep, we feel like everything's starting to break up. You might get a few little clicks and cracks. And last one, first squeeze the arms towards the knees, drop the tailbone, drop the lumbars, thoracic, finish with the extension there and through the cervicals, and then come back to neutral. Okay guys, so this next one is a first rib mobilization technique. So when I say this, a lot of the time with our cervicals and the poor posture, our upper ribs are actually dysfunction of some kind. So they can be lifted, they can be not moving as they normally should. A lot of the time it comes from breathing or stress, breathing through these upper ribs too much. So with this technique, what we're trying to do is to press that first rib a little bit to give the neck a little bit more room to breathe. So if there is an aggravated disc or a facet joint, It's allowing a little bit more freedom through there to restore where either rotation, side bending, flexion, or extension. So to start off with here, once again, I've got my yoga strap with just a little microfiber towel over it, so I don't irritate the skin. This goes straight over the shoulder, just like this. So from here, what we want to do, and you see here with this little yoga strap, I got it on Amazon, honestly, for $6. I can grip through with both thumbs. I normally like to get the whole hand through here. And what we want to do right at the base, so if I side bend, it's right in that corner, in the very corner angle of the neck where we want to go. Now the pull we want to do is down on a 45 degrees angle. Yeah? So what we're going to do to start off with here is breathe in through the nose. And then as you breathe out, side bend into the side, squeeze with the arm away. And then take pressure on the way up. So we're trying to promote the depression of the rib. With this arm here, we're letting it stay nice and low as well. You can either grab the back of your leg, or I just like to let it hang freely. So try and go through about 6 or 7 reps. And then always changing sides, so what you do on one side, you always repeat on the other side. Same thing, flip it over. Good little holes here. If you don't have one of these, you can get creative and use what you have. Same thing, deep breath in. As you breathe out. With this one as well, if you feel like you can't get enough leverage with just the one arm, you can actually cross over with the opposite arm and support it. So as long as your left shoulder stays depressed, you can use the 2 arms to depress and drop it down, just like so as you breathe out. And let's finish with 2 here. Okay, so the last one we're going to do is with a basic towel. So just a bathroom towel. We are going to roll it up as tight as we possibly can. Now with this one, what we want to do is pretty much put behind the neck to start with. You're going to reach under with one arm, reach over with the other arm, and then you see here it's almost like a bit of a corkscrew motion, yeah? So we're going to start by locking the lower one down and then slowly applying pressure into the top one and let yourself sink into a stretch. With this one, we don't want to be lifting this shoulder with the stretch. You want to keep your shoulder nice and low, and you're going to feel a bunch of scalenes. You'll hit a little bit of your upper traps here. And we're holding this for 30 seconds, breathing in through the nose. As you breathe out through the mouth, you're trying to let the shoulder depress more, let the neck rotate and side bend away. So remember, 30 seconds, make sure there's no pain. If you feel a pinch through this one, you're pushing it too much, or you're not at the stage where you should be doing this one yet. If you're feeling any radicular pain or nerve pain down the arm, make sure you stop straight away. Okay, so we're nearly on 30 seconds. Remember, you can go a little longer. Just make sure that it shouldn't be uncomfortable. All stretches should be within comfort limits. And then once we've hit the halfway mark there, we're going to switch it over. So remember, one goes over, one goes under. We switch the hand grip there. Lock the lower one down first. Squeeze really lightly with the top one. And this just promotes the plane that we want to do the stretch on. And remember here, don't let the shoulder chase up. Let it drop down so you can feel the full stretch go through those scalenes, those upper traps, all those postural muscles that get really tight all day long, sitting on the computer, driving cars, texting, all the stuff that us as humans weren't designed to do. As you breathe out, so it's in through the nose, as you breathe out through the mouth, you're letting the stretch sink a little further, that shoulder to press a little more, and ensuring that there's no pain, no ridiculous symptoms down the arm. That should feel quite pleasant. And as we approach the 30 seconds, just remember, like all stretches, as you come out, we're not going to release it fast, release it slowly, back up into neutral. I hope you liked the video today, guys. Please write any questions you have in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe if you like the video. And remember, if you have acute pain in the neck, this is not the program for you. You need to wait, you need to see your physician, wait for all those symptoms to subside. This is once you're along and you're really trying to restore full function, full range of motion. But yeah, I hope this is a great one to keep you healthy and to get over that last little hump of rehab. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's helping you. Share it with a friend if you're here, there in a familiar spot to what you are, and have a great day, guys. Cheers.